The Rock Island Downtown Alliance. We are in our second fiscal year of operations and excited and proud to be serving downtown Rock Island and representing our board of directors here tonight. Just to provide some context before I dig into the presentation, the Downtown Alliance is a joint effort between the public and private sector to strengthen livability and quality of place downtown. I wanted to it is sliding around a little bit here. I wanted to start with this slide. On the left, you see a rendering of Arts Alley put together by our... Tim, is it possible it keeps sliding on me. Not sure if I can stick it. On the left, again, it's a rendering of Arts Alley that our partners at Streamline Architects and Veenstra and Kim put together for our Rebuild Downtown project. On the right is an image of what Arts Alley looked like last month. Keep sliding. Okay. Might be the PDF as well. It does, but it may slide on me. We'll see. We'll deal with it. I want to go back to 2021. Spring of 2021, when the City of Rock Island and the Quad Cities Chamber started its partnership for the revitalization of downtown. I was in then City Manager Randy Tweet's office at the time, and we were talking about possible improvements to the downtown and ways to invest the city's remaining $1.5 million in downtown TIF revenue. And City Manager Randy Tweet at the time said, let's start with Arts Alley. It's a space that we've had since the 1990s. It's been underutilized over time, and there's room for improvement to that space. The rendering on the left here was created, and on the right is the reality. November 20th, when we had the tree lighting, almost mirrors to a T the rendering that was put together. It took many partners, all of the partners on the project team, to bring this rendering to life. We had a wonderful tree lighting celebration and opening of Arts Alley that evening. There's even more people in the photo than in the rendering, so a good sign. Arts Alley looks even better today with the string lights that were put up. Sorry, guys, for the back and forth here, but even looks better today with the string lights that now decorate the space. If you haven't been there yet, I encourage you to check it out even after tonight's meeting. It's a beautiful setting. But truly took partnerships to make the difference and to bring that rendering to a reality downtown. Up here, obviously, we have the Rock Island Downtown Alliance, an entity that lives within the Quad Cities Chamber organization, partner with the City of Rock Island, and then our friends at the Development Association of Rock Island as well, additional economic development partner for the betterment of downtown and the city. Some additional brief background for the Downtown Alliance. When we started fundraising and planning for that Rebuild Downtown project, it was prior to the establishment of a downtown special service area. It was prior to the establishment of our organization, the Rock Island Downtown Alliance, which now services the downtown on a daily basis. We cover about a 65-block area. Again, we're governed and guided by a 13-person board of directors and additional committees. And throughout that 65-block area, we have about 215 individual property owners, 430 parcels, and again, across 65 blocks. Our total EAV for that area is just under 30 million. Visual of our boundaries stretching just west of Centennial Bridge to the tourism campus by the Botanical Center and the Expo Center. Our mission is plain and simple: manage the City of Rock Island's downtown special service area to enhance public spaces, encourage private investment, and improve overall quality of life in the downtown. These are the same goals that our Rebuild Downtown project has for the core downtown that is getting rejuvenated. We have three primary areas of work: business and economic growth, infrastructure and livability, and advocacy and promotions. And I'm going to cover some wins in each of these areas of work tonight, starting with business and economic growth. Tonight in the audience, actually, we're pleased to welcome the owner of La Flama, which is the newest business to open its doors downtown, Martin Garcia. Hey, everyone, owner of La Flama, moving from Davenport, purchasing a property in Rock Island as the opportunity arose, and opening its doors earlier this month at 4th Avenue and 21st Street. We're very excited to have them. One of about close to 10 businesses that open their doors throughout the downtown this year. In the middle here, we have a message from a longtime downtown business, Rostox. They've been in operation for 13 years. Thank you for keeping Rock Island weird. This is the message that they sent out to their hundreds of donors that helped them raise more than $30,000 in a short amount of time to assist with a down payment on a property that they've leased for 13 years downtown, to be able to acquire that property and to continue serving the community for the years to come. But we're very proud and happy to see the community, both locally and truly globally. Donors from around the country and the world helped raise the more than $30,000 that it took to keep Rostox alive downtown. The third image is a new business, Currents and Keys Realty, that's opened up across from the Pancake House in the 1800 block of 3rd Avenue. Again, one of about 10 businesses that have opened their doors downtown. It's been a great pleasure to work with Tom Flaherty and Tara Sipes, again, and our partners at the Chamber in Dari, working to help our existing businesses in the downtown, but also work together collaboratively to try and bring new businesses to the downtown. I will say, speaking on my behalf, it's been a seamless partnership. I hope partners at the city would say the same, but I wanted all of you to know that we're continuing to meet on a weekly basis, and the communication is key, I think, to our joint success. Infrastructure and livability, again, it's another area of work that we're focused on. When we launched our organization, the number one priority among our downtown stakeholders was a clean and safe program. And this is dating back to the city's 2015 Downtown Revitalization Plan that mentioned the need for a clean and safe program in the downtown, one of such that's used in many other communities across the country. And so some images here on the screen. We have one of our ambassadors, Jamar Mallory, putting the new tree in Arts Alley together with a Public Works employee, James Jordan. We have our ambassadors and myself with the Rock Island Police Department, Rock Island Police Chief, and other members of the department when we launched the public-private enhanced patrol partnership downtown and introduced the new utility vehicle for an enhanced patrol throughout the downtown. And showing a nice shout out from one of our downtown stakeholders, businesses from Nest Cafe. Huge shout out to the Downtown Alliance for the work they do every day to keep our downtown clean and safe. Our guys have logged thousands of activities in the downtown over the last year, cleaning and maintenance, hospitality, and street outreach logs. We're very proud of them, and most of them are here tonight. In fact, our whole team is, led by Operations Manager DeAndre Robinson. Please show your hand. And our ambassadors, to his left, Jamar Mallory, David Staples, Terrence Polion, and Maurice. Thank you. So I'm sure you've seen these guys throughout the downtown in the matching red uniforms. There are eyes and ears on the ground 7 days a week and potentially 365 days a year. So we're proud of the work that they do, and our stakeholders truly show their appreciation. Advocacy and promotions is our third area of work that we focus on. Here are some shots just from the holiday season. As we know, we launched the Arts Alley Holiday Market November 20th with the tree lighting in partnership with the city. We've had holiday markets each weekend since then. And our final week of festivities is set for this Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So if you haven't had a chance to come check out the Arts Alley Holiday Market yet, there's still time this coming weekend. We've continued the train hunt this year, the popular train hunt where our friends at Crawford Company and Jackson Auto Body Custom Paint have decorated train ornaments for us, and they're hiding in more than 35 businesses throughout the downtown. We've had 100 completed train cards already, which is exciting. So we're running out of trains. If you haven't started yet, or you've started your card and you're getting close, it's time to finish before the trains are all gone. But we're excited about that response from the community. There's a couple of screenshots of community members who have enjoyed the train hunt. There's one of saying that they did the train hunt downtown and they're enjoying some lunch at El Patron while they're at it. Then another community member who shared an image of the train once they got home after doing the hunt. In addition, to showcase some of our downtown businesses and properties throughout the holiday season, we continued the Holiday Display Challenge, where more than 25 businesses in the downtown signed up to be connected with local artists to paint and decorate their storefronts for the holiday season. They're competing against more than 50 other businesses in downtown Davenport and Bettendorf in our regional Holiday Display Challenge. This is just a fun one. This is part of Centennial Tax and Accounting's display that every taxpayer in Rocktown, the tall and small, was shouting without any tax at all. Obviously, tongue-in-cheek joke there, but one of the many decorative storefronts throughout the downtown. So again, none of this work could happen without the partnerships. It's the work that our ambassadors do on a daily basis, a lot of times communicating with Public Works, on various projects. The tree installation was just one example. The economic development side of the house, where we work closely with the city's economic development team. The advocacy and promotions front, where myself as well as our marketing team, communications and marketing team at the chamber, work closely with Sarah Hayden. Todd and Tom obviously are at our board meetings, and the list goes on. But we are proud to be partners with the city of Rock Island, and we're excited to cap another year midway between our second fiscal year in operations, but wanted to provide a fun and hopefully uplifting update to the council tonight, and happy to answer any questions as well.
Any questions out there? Comments? I gotta say, kudos, you guys have done a great job at keeping the place clean and organized and being great ambassadors. I couldn't tell you how many people that I've talked to that you guys have introduced yourselves, helped guide in different directions. I see the trash that's back here that you guys have collected, and it's no small feat. So thank you very, very much for a job well done.
Deserved.
Mayor, if I could.
Yeah.
Tom Flaherty, Economic Development Director. I just wanted to pass along my thanks to Jack and DeAndre and their entire team. It is a partnership. Downtown revitalization is hard work. It's often underappreciated or discounted. And Jack's doing it. The Downtown Rock Island Alliance is absolutely executing. The Clean and Safe crews, we see them all over the place. It's a very large special service area. In all types of weather, we see you guys every place. Very much appreciate everything you do for us. And Jack's innovating. He's trying new things all the time. So I think it's a great partnership, and I appreciate working with you. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Tom.
Any other comments, questions? If not, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hope to see you at the Arts Alley Holiday Market. Friday is noon to 6, so lunchtime crowd opportunity. We were rained out, iced out Saturday, so this is a rescheduled for Friday. But thank you again.
You bet. All right. I don't know who, Julie or Peter or whoever's.
I'll start and Peter will come up and then I'll come back. And then you'll just, yeah, thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. It's really great to see everybody. I was not here last year. I know Ladrina provided the update for the Quad Cities Chamber and also Business and Economic Growth at that time. So no new digs here. Really enjoying that for you. Great to see that. So tonight is a combination of an update, but also we want to talk about the new way forward. So if you have been watching the news or attended our annual meeting, you know that we have a new CEO for the region. And so happy to have him here, and he'll talk a little bit about his vision. Our Quad Cities Chamber Board at the time in that hiring process wanted to make sure that the Quad Cities was positioned for long-term sustainability and not just looking at individual sectors, but the whole broad spectrum of economic development and opportunity for the region. So Peter's been here a year. It popped up on my LinkedIn that he was, congratulate Peter, he's been here a year today, but it's actually a little bit off from that. So before I provide an update of this past year, which we're in year 4 of a 4-year services agreement, Peter's going to talk about the future, which is also articulated in the next agreement coming up for the next season. Peter Tokar, our CEO.
Thank you. Well, good evening, Mayor, Council. I know I've had a chance to interact with several of you. Other of you have not, so it's a pleasure to finally get here and so you guys can put a face with the name, and then I can have a chance to meet and engage with you guys as well. So thank you guys for having us here tonight. I asked them not to put that giant picture of me there, but the marketing team likes to mess with me, so there's a huge picture of me blown up in real life. But again, yeah, so I've been here now for January, first week of January will be a year. And we've been really happy here in the Quad Cities. With my family and the wife, four young kids, 9, 8, 6, and 5. So it's the perpetual source of my gray hair. But I am also coming to the Quad Cities, bringing 20 years of economic and regional economic development experience. And when this position was open and they were looking for someone, they were really looking for someone that had a strong economic development background. I've always been innovation focused, looking at how do we do things better, how do we do things more efficient, how do we do things that are future leading and looking at the region. So one of the things you'll always have in me is someone to talk about the future, talk about where we could go, talk about the possibilities of where we're at. Again, I said about father, I'm an avid golfer and snowboarder, what I do in my leisure time, but overall I'm just a normal person. So looking at, again, coming into the position, the board was really looking for someone that could take the chamber, continue with the success the chamber's had since the consolidation about a decade ago, but really look at what is the future of the Quad Cities? Where are we looking? What are we going to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, and really look at the economy and how do we future-proof and create a sustainable Quad Cities for the long haul. And they said one of the things we've been doing, kudos to Julie and her team for the business and economic growth that's been happening, the economic development they've been doing, but when we really took a look at it, it was from a very kind of single lane point of view. I think those of you that got to go to the annual meeting, I talked about going from a 1-lane highway to a 6-lane highway. And really what that means is looking at an expanded portfolio in different outlooks for types of development here in the Quad Cities. We've been really successful in recruiting industrial companies here, where that is our bread and butter. We will continue to look for those types of opportunities moving forward, but there's a lot of other industry bases that call the Quad Cities home that we haven't been pursuing aggressively that we want to look at doing. And so one of the ways they said we were going to do that was, well, the Quad City Chamber is a unique animal in that most large regions like ours that have a regional chamber of commerce, like call it the two communities that came from beforehand, the Dallas Regional Chamber, or Atlanta, the Atlanta Metro Chamber, those are really economic development organizations. They don't do any of your traditional chamber functions, which is the B2B connections, connecting businesses together, creating that commerce between business. The Quad City Chamber is unique in that it is still a functioning chamber of commerce, but also wants to serve as an economic development organization. And that's problematic because really the core purpose of the chamber is to focus on that commerce piece, to focus on connecting businesses together, creating collaborations and unity between all of our cities, all of our local businesses, and encouraging commerce between them. That's why it's called a Chamber of Commerce. And so we said what we need to do is decouple those, take our economic development work, take those priorities that we're looking at doing, take that expanded portfolio of priorities that we'd like to get into from a region, and go back to a dual parallel track that has the Chamber of Commerce doing all the Chamber of Commerce things, but also our regional economic development organization doing all the economic development things. And I boil that down into a internal versus external operations. So the Chamber of Commerce will be the internal organization that really connects our business community together in the region. The Economic Development Organization is the external arm that looks for new opportunities to bring to the Quad Cities. We look for new businesses to bring here, new people to bring here, new development opportunities to bring here. So it's that outside coming in while the Chamber is still churning locally and making sure everything stays on track. So that's how the two organizations will work together moving forward. We launched this idea at the annual meeting back in August. We're officially incorporated as Grow Quad Cities as of last week, and we'll be calling together that organization in a more formal setting after the first of the year. And so the three propositions, or the three pillars of Grow Quad Cities, what is this new organization going to do that is new to economic development or expanded priorities within economic development? So it's going to focus on business development, talent and workforce development, and quality of place development. And that really boils down to there's a lot of that. Those are three different rabbit holes that go deep down. But really, business development is that bringing new business here, new corporations here, new projects here, new development here, to create jobs and to create opportunities for business development here. Talent and workforce development, probably one of the most important things we're going to be doing moving on here in the future. In order to for these companies that are moving here, or our existing companies that are already here, to succeed, they need quality employees. I think I said it at the annual meeting, our 10-year growth in the Quad Cities has been 0.86%, so not even 1% yet. We have to have people coming to these areas for opportunity if we're going to get more businesses to come here, because we will reach a point where we bring a business in and there's just not enough people, not enough workforce to support that business, which leads to the third, the quality of place development. One of the ways we're going to make the Quad Cities more attractive is to really try to bring investment to quality of place development. Things that you guys are already doing, the investment you're making in downtown, that is a huge giant step forward in that quality of place development. And the work that Jack's doing downtown, and I have to just point out, DeAndre's a rock star on his team. I love, and we have a meeting every month where we give kudos to employees, and the stuff that he's doing is amazing. So you have a rock star, DeAndre. That's a picture. I can point him out. He's awesome. So quality of place is making this place more attractive for people just to want to come naturally. Looking at all of our riverfront downtowns, looking at mixed-use development opportunities, looking at entertainment development opportunities, those things that will kind of give the Quad Cities that little bit more of an X factor that people just want to come here anyways, to be here to enjoy this community, will help with the population characteristics. So we're going to look at those three pillars as we start out this new economic development journey. And so this is just, I just said that. The expanded portfolio, looking at continuing industrial development, looking for mixed-use development opportunities, looking for retail opportunities. And when we say retail, we're not talking about going out and trying to recruit a Chipotle. We're talking about looking at raw land that can be developed for large-scale retail use. And so again, it's all about that investment in the infrastructure, in the development, in the buildings that at the very end will create tax revenue, which is kind of what we're trying to do as well. So what are those expanded portfolio of industries that we're talking about? So if you look at the second vertical, that advanced manufacturing, that's where we've been living for a very long time, and we've been really doing well in that. And Julie will go over some of the successes that we've had this past year. But looking at our other operations, like headquarters and professional services, riverfront mixed-use development, again, entertainment and retail development, and aerospace and defense. These are all areas where we have a big opportunity here in the Quad Cities on both sides of the river. We've just never, as an economic development organization, gone after those industries to try to recruit them here. So the simple change that we're going to make is we're going to go after them now. That's represented in this new, we've talked about the new service level agreement that you guys are considering tonight. One of the first things I did when I got here was met with all the cities, said, instead of saying, we as a chamber and your regional economic development organization are going to provide you this, I changed that narrative. I said, what are your priorities for economic development in the city? How can we go get what you're looking for? And I've had a lot of really great meetings with Tom, and Tom's been very influential in helping us understand those priorities for economic development for Rock Island. And that's what we want that service level agreement to represent. We want it to represent, we are working for you. We are a regional organization that is out to help promote the priorities and the economic development strategy that your city has put into place. And in our marketing, in our outbound research, in our development opportunities that we're representing, we want to make sure that it's represented correctly. And so we've done that for all the different cities that are in the service level agreement and will be part of it, so that we have this better menu of options now to better serve the community and to represent the kind of development that you're looking for. And so with that, the service level agreement would restart and expanded services begin in our new fiscal year on 7/1. So we're currently in the 4th year of our existing agreement with you guys, so this would be a new year 1 for moving forward with this expanded portfolio of opportunities. Any questions on that? I know Julie's going to go through what we've done, but I didn't know if you had any questions on me.
Whether they're questions or you want to expand on them, or whether it's you or Julie, but a couple things. Legislative agenda and working with that. And I know as chamber, not just grow. Talk a little bit about ready land or the lack of site readiness, and then of course visiting with site selectors and that sort of thing.
Sure. So from Julie's going to go through site readiness, but from an advocacy point of view, we're always trying to expand how we're representing our communities. The chamber side is going to focus on more local business advocacy, while GROW will focus on more of the high-end business legislation that's happening at the federal level and at the state level that affects how business is done, and it affects our economic development efforts for bringing people here. So we're doing our DC fly-in trips. I think you guys have participated in those. And we will continue to advocate on all levels of government for solid business policy. It's a bipartisan agenda. We don't take sides. We look at what is good for businesses and what is good for the region. And we'll support that with, and we do legislative updates to, I believe Jacob's been in front of you. Has he been here yet, Jacob? To do a legislative update with you guys?
If he has. I know you got a new agenda and everything else, so.
Yeah, so in part of our new government affairs department, we have a representative that is one of his core responsibilities is to go around, I think, quarterly with all of the different councils. He may not just have got here yet, to talk about our legislative priorities with you to make sure it marries up with what you guys are saying and want. So that is part of the expanded services, again, is trying to increase our advocacy efforts.
Thank you.
I had a question about the workforce development. I don't know, I can do it after your portion of the presentation or now, whichever. I'm curious about what type of workforce development programming you're anticipating. I'm specifically interested in place-based workforce development. We've got the West End Revitalization Project ongoing in the west end of Rock Island. There is a significant unemployment rate, for example, in the west end of Rock Island, and so it occurs to me that that would be a good place to focus a place-based workforce development program. Are you envisioning any sort of place-based workforce development or not?
Yes, we actually had a meeting this afternoon on workforce, and so the way we're tackling this is because we want this to be a regional approach, and because we are not the only organization working on workforce development in the Quad Cities. If you'll harken back to the former Q 2030 plan that was in place, the 4 backbone organizations are the Quad Cities Community Foundation, United Way, the Chamber, and Visit Quad Cities. And so the 4 of us have met, and United Way and the Chamber have partnered up to do a workforce study analysis on our region, which the Chamber's doing through our business intelligence person to identify what are the jobs that are high wage, that provide a livable wage, that are in high demand in the Quad Cities, and how do we take those opportunities to our K through 12 education systems on both sides of the river and start career pathing and pipelining those jobs for those kids. And also on the higher education side, talking to our universities on what types of programs are they doing within those identified fields that we believe are the kind of lowest hanging fruit of opportunity for career pathways in the Quad Cities. And then we'll be working jointly together to develop the programming to gather the community leaders in the industries that we need to help support actually pipelining those, whether it's through apprenticeships, whether it's through job placement programs, or just partnering with school districts on developing some sort of pipeline curriculum to get those kids into career paths. And so that is something we're working on and is part of our new direction, but we're not doing it alone. We want to bring in our regional partners so that we could all kind of march to the beat of the same drum.
That sounds nice. I would really encourage you to consider specific place-based workforce development programming too. I think there's a greater need for workforce development in certain parts of our community, whether it be the west end of Rock Island or the west end of Davenport. Working with the school districts is fine, but that's the entire community when there are pockets of our community that have greater need. So, thank you.
We can set up a meeting so Chris Case on our team is working diligently in that space, and she is an Illinois resident, and she has identified that there are some deficiencies specifically on the Illinois side that she wants to tackle. So if you want, we can get together offline with her, and we can go through kind of more specifics of what we're doing in that space. Be happy to facilitate that.
Thank you. No.
And I do know Chris did meet with the folks at Martin Luther King Send, the West End Revitalization Project. They were putting together a grant. And so our business intelligence director, Bill Polly, and Chris went over and had a conversation with them. And then also she made some direct introductions to the Illinois workforce partners so that they could begin to develop those relationships. So I do know that that has happened. So I just want to do a time check. I see you got a lot of people out here. It's 6:34. We're past time.
6:40, about there, we got to quit.
Okay, I'll get moving. So we're going to take a look at the past year. We do appreciate your partnership for economic development. Tom and Tara are great partners in the work that we do. So this past year, again, we're one lane right now, industrial development. And so for this past year regionally, we had been involved as the Quad Cities Chamber in business economic growth, $123 million in total economic impact to the region for successful projects. This is what it looks like for the past 3 years. So number at the top is the number of projects that we're considering the Quad Cities. You can see the numbers on attraction, retention. We actually had 5 successful projects in the Quad Cities region. All retention projects, no attraction project successes this year. Total economic impact to the region is $122.7 million. Rock Island County, we have economic impact modeling software. It allows us to go county by county. I'm sorry, it's not city by city, but Rock Island County didn't do bad with, of those projects, even though none of them were actually in Rock Island. The economic benefit to Rock Island County, of which you're a part of, is $70 million. So that includes the actual project, it includes the people that are employed at those businesses, it includes the businesses that might be getting more work because of that business expansion. It's those people and where they spend their money in community, so it's all factored into that. Again, current focus, industry. We've got defense, ag innovation, logistics, advanced manufacturing, and support services within the region. So these are the current services. There's 3 major pillars of work that we do. So regional marketing, so advertising our region, getting the word out, business attraction activity, and business retention and expansion. So this year, 1 lane coming up, multi-lane, as Peter described. And then just, again, our region is a full 6-county region, not just the metro. So regional marketing, we'll tackle that first. So that's basically advertising the region outside of market to let people know, our site selectors and companies possibly looking to move, where we are, why it's great to do business in the Quad Cities. We partnered with Site Selection Magazine to have some stories written about the region of focus. They had some great reach through that and coverage. These are some print ads that were used not only within the magazine, a mailer sent out, and this is also things that as we go out to different conferences that is used as inserts in those programs and talking with site selectors. This year focused on the Field to Fame campaign. So basically saying, hey, John Deere started here, was very successful over time. Your business too can find great success in the Quad City region. Our site selectors, when we talk to them, they're quite impressed with the number of legacy businesses that we have in this region that are over 100 years old. Again, more ads. You don't ever see these because you're here, and these are all out-of-market ads focused on the targeted groups of targets, businesses that we hope to get interested in the region as well as site selectors. Business attraction activity. So it's what does that mean? It's lead generation, familiarization tours, outreach to site selectors and companies. And this is what we logged last year. We had 235 out-of-market conversations with site selectors and businesses potentially looking to understand this market better for site location. We attended 7 sites consultant conferences, representation at 6 trade shows, and then also participated in Select USA, which is a foreign direct investment conference in Washington, D.C., where they're bringing outside companies into the United States. We hosted a FAM tour, so that's a familiarization tour of site selectors focused in industrial development. Drove them all around the Quad Cities. Most helpful to them, they provided us feedback on, was the conversations that we convened with business owners about what it's like to do business in the Quad Cities. They had very frank discussions, and because workforce is such a crucial element of a decision in coming here, we put together our workforce partners to have conversations with them as well so that they could understand the resources here and the training dollars available and what that pipeline looks like. And we answer RFIs for the region. So we get leads in from the state of Illinois, we get leads for the state of Iowa, and then we just get general inquiries. And so we are answering these RFIs. We reach out to all of our partners, including your team, and ask for submissions. And hopefully there's something that will match the particulars of the project. There's different requests for building size, acreage size, height, ceiling height, dock doors, number of dock doors. So it's all different depending on who the company is. But we package up RFI about the Quad Cities region and all the reasons why it's great to be here and submit those. Over the past year, I've got last fiscal year, but I've also got fiscal year to date, our pipeline, 95 projects considering the Quad Cities region, 76 in Illinois, so a lot more volume on the Illinois side than Iowa. State of Illinois has done a good job with their business attraction efforts that we've been able to partner with. And then this year, to date so far, 43 projects considering the region, and we're at 32 considering Illinois so far. And then we also help promote and showcase available properties within the region. So a lot of site selectors and company location decision makers come to the website as a means of doing their desktop research to see what's here before they might even talk to us. So one of the things that we do is showcase all the available properties through our LOIS system. Your team is a good partner to that. Site readiness, somebody asked about that. Mayor, thank you. So site readiness is not only an issue here within our region, but all throughout the United States. So there's been a run on sites that have been shovel ready is what they call that. So it's a challenge for companies to find sites that they can identify and start building in a short period of time. And a short period of time could be a year, it could be 18 months. A lot of it depends on power availability. So we hired a firm, Hickey Global, they're site consultants, and they also do consultation to come in and do a site analysis of our region and how do we stack up, what do our sites look like, and most importantly, what do we need to do to get these sites to a higher level of site readiness so we can compete. And so they studied 32 sites with the region, were on the ground, and then they also put together a site characterization tier levels, which you see there, which basically shows you what for each particular site needs to happen to get to a higher level of site readiness. And so this has been a resource that we have shared with all of our partners throughout the region, whether they're our economic development partners, our brokers, our developers in the region, so that everybody understands what needs to happen to get more of our sites ready within the region.
Julie, we're running close on time here, so.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. Business retention and expansion, plugging away, look at all the companies we went to go see in Rock Island. Resources, resources, resources. We make connections for business development, workforce, and where can they find money or grants to help their business. And there's some of those examples. We also have, Chris on our team has workforce board representation in both Iowa and Illinois, extremely helpful for them to understand what are our issues here within the region. And that's what I've got in a short amount of time. Sorry about that.
No, sorry, yeah, cut you off. Anybody have any quick questions, comments? Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Second.
Move to second to adjourn. All those in favor?